My beloved child, pause for a moment. Stay still exactly where you are. Let the noise around you fade into the background. Let every distraction loosen its grip. Allow your spirit to rise and receive what I am about to place within you. This moment, this very breath moving through your lungs right now, is not ordinary. It is not random. It is not an accident that these words are reaching you during this exact season of your life. I, the Lord your God, arranged this encounter with a precision beyond human understanding. Before the sun appeared this morning, before this day began to unfold, I already knew your name would be called into this moment. I already knew your heart would be prepared, even when you were unsure yourself. That is why I come to you now, not as a distant voice from some unreachable place, but as a presence near to you, close to you, speaking directly into your spirit with words that carry eternal significance. My precious child, I know the weariness resting deep within you. I know the hidden struggles you have carried, the battles you rarely speak about, the burdens you have borne with a quiet strength that only I have fully seen. You have moved through seasons of uncertainty. You have walked through confusion. You have traveled roads where the way ahead seemed to disappear completely. You have stood at crossroads wondering whether to continue or whether everything had already slipped away. I have seen every step you took. I have never stood apart from your pain. I have been present inside it, breathing strength into places you believed were empty forever, holding you together when you no longer felt able to hold yourself together. Listen carefully, my child. Not one moment of your struggle was meaningless. Not one tear shed in the darkness escaped my notice. Every delay you endured, every door that remained shut despite your sincere efforts, every season of waiting that lasted longer than you thought possible, these were never signs that I had abandoned you. They were part of the place where your preparation was taking shape. You were being molded. You were being strengthened in ways only deep trials can accomplish. And now that preparation is reaching its fulfillment, now I speak into your life not to focus on what was difficult, but to announce what is beginning. State, I receive this today, if you believe my words are reaching you right now. My beloved child, you have asked me for signs. During quiet nights when no one else was there, during restless hours when questions filled your thoughts and would not leave, you cried out and asked, Lord, are you still with me? Lord, do you still hear me? Lord, show me something undeniable, something I cannot dismiss as coincidence. I heard every one of those prayers. Not a single whisper from your heart escaped my attention. Now I answer you, not with a small sign, but with a word intended to change the foundation of what you believe is possible. This is more than temporary encouragement. This is a prophetic declaration, spoken from heaven directly into your unique story. There is an enemy who watches whenever I draw close to you. He is not afraid of your strength on difficult days. What he fears most is the moment you clearly hear my voice and decide to trust what I say, because he knows that a heart rooted in my truth cannot be shaken, cannot be controlled, cannot be robbed, and cannot be defeated. That is why even now, while these words are reaching you, other whispers are trying to enter your thoughts. Whispers saying this is too good to be true. Whispers reminding you that you have heard hopeful words before and nothing seemed to change. Whispers pointing toward every disappointment, every unanswered prayer, every time hope rose only to fall again. My child, do not accept those whispers. They are not wisdom. They come from the one who wants to keep you limited, trapped, and standing just outside the blessing I have prepared for you. My precious child, let me speak to you about time, because there is something important pressing against this moment that you need to understand. You have assumed there would always be another chance. You have told yourself that when life becomes simpler, when circumstances improve, when this season passes, then you will fully surrender, then you will fully trust, then you will fully step into what I have been calling you toward. But my child, that kind of delay carries a great cost. The doors I open do not remain open forever. The seasons I establish have their appointed times, and what I am offering you right now cannot simply be moved to a later and more comfortable moment. I have stepped into your life now, because now is the appointed time. The urgency you feel rising within your spirit as you hear these words is not your imagination. It is my spirit confirming deep within you that this is real, that this matters, and that it should not be postponed. My child, I see what you cannot see. I see the road ahead long before you arrive there. I see the traps the enemy has carefully placed in paths you have not yet reached. I see opportunities that look attractive but lead into bondage. I see voices disguised as wisdom that ultimately create confusion. I see every one of them. And I also see the road that carries you safely beyond them. The road of trust. The path of surrender. The way that becomes visible when you stop depending only on your own understanding and begin walking in mine. That is what I am inviting you into. Not religion. Not performance. Not an exhausting effort to earn what I have already chosen to give freely. I am inviting you into a living relationship with the one who formed every part of your body, who knows every hair on your head, who knew your name before your parents ever spoke it. Declare your amen if you have faith. My precious child, I want to speak about the burden you have been carrying. Not the burden people notice when they look at your life. Not the visible responsibilities others can see. I am speaking about the hidden weight. The guilt you have never completely released. The shame that quietly tells you that you are unworthy of what I offer. The disappointment you feel toward yourself. The long list of moments when your intentions were good, but the outcome fell short of what you hoped. My child, that burden was never meant to belong to you. It was never part of the plan I wrote over your life before you took your first breath. The enemy has used that weight to keep distance between us, convincing you that you must first reach a certain level before you are worthy to come near. But that thought is false, and I am tearing it down right now with all the authority of heaven. There is no requirement attached to my love for you. There is no level of achievement you must reach before I choose to move on your behalf. You do not come to me after making yourself perfect. You come exactly as you are, in whatever season you are facing, with every weakness and every broken place fully exposed. And I am the one who brings healing and restoration. This is not religion demanding that you repair yourself before you can be accepted. This is grace, my beloved, powerful and limitless grace, that reaches beyond every excuse you have used to remain distant and draws you straight into the center of my presence. My precious child, I want to speak with you about the crossroads where you now stand. You have arrived at crossroads before. You know that feeling. That suspended place where every breath carries the weight of a decision. Where two paths stretch before you, and you are unsure which leads to life and which leads to loss. You have stood in that place before, and sometimes your choices served you well, while other times they cost far more than you imagined. But hear me now, my child. Every decision, every road, every consequence you walked through has been woven into the greater story I am writing over your life. None of it has disqualified you. None of it has removed you from my purpose. In truth, your willingness to keep moving forward through difficult outcomes has revealed the strength of what I placed inside you. The crossroads before you now is not like the others. This is not about choosing between two reasonable options or comparing one hardship against another. This crossroads is about trust, honest and uncovered trust. The real question before you is not what you will do about your circumstances. The question is whether you will believe that I truly am who I say I am. Whether you will accept that I am genuinely working for your good and not against you. Whether you will loosen your grip on your own story and place it completely into my hands. That is the choice before you. And the decision you make in this hour will shape everything that follows. My beloved child, I created you with a purpose far too precise to be accidental. You are not a common soul placed into an ordinary life, simply to endure time until it ends. You were formed intentionally, crafted with care, and given a unique mixture of gifts, experiences, sensitivities, and strengths that equip you for something only you can do. There is work that would remain unfinished if you never stepped into the fullness of who I created you to become. There are people who will receive exactly what they need through the specific way I designed you to carry and share it. This is not empty praise, my beloved. It is simply the truth of divine design. You were never created to be ordinary. You were never created merely to survive. You were made to shine with a unique light that reflects my glory in a way no one else can duplicate. State. I trust if you believe I have a plan for your life. Now, my cherished child, let me speak about release. There are things in your hands right now that you are holding because fear tells you not to let go. Things you believe must remain under your control, because if they slip away, something permanent will be lost. Relationships you are gripping so tightly that the life inside them is being squeezed away. Plans you refuse to release because letting go feels too much like failure. Financial security you are afraid to loosen because the fear of lack has become one of the loudest voices in your life. My child, I am not asking you to act carelessly. I am not calling you to abandon wisdom. I am inviting you into the deeper understanding of a heart that has learned to hold things with open hands, trusting that what truly belongs in your life cannot be taken away, and what must leave was never yours to keep. An open hand is not weakness. It is a sign of deep strength. It is the posture of someone who has decided that my provision is more dependable than their own control. It is the declaration of a soul that has left behind scarcity and stepped into the abundance of my kingdom. And that declaration, my beloved, releases something in the spiritual realm that your natural eyes may not see, but your spirit will begin to recognize. When you open your hands, when you release control, when you stop clinging tightly and begin giving freely, you align yourself with the very way heaven operates. For I gave everything. I withheld nothing. I poured out freely so that you could receive beyond measure. My precious one, hear this with your whole heart. The season ahead requires a different version of you than the one you have been. Not because who you were has failed. Not because what you have carried until now was not enough. But because growth always requires greater capacity. A seed cannot remain a seed if it is to become what it was created to be. The shell must break apart. The outer covering must fall away. The contained version of what you were must make room for the expanding version of who you are becoming. That breaking can feel like loss. It can feel unsettling. There may be moments during this transition when you look around and no longer recognize the landscape, when old landmarks have disappeared and the new terrain still feels unfamiliar. In those moments, my child, do not be afraid. Do not run back toward what feels comfortable. Reach forward and take hold of my hand, because I am already waiting in the place where I am leading you. My beloved, I also want to speak about provision, because I know this is one of the places where anxiety has tried hardest to take root. Questions about whether there will be enough, whether what you have built will last, whether the resources needed for your calling will truly arrive. These concerns have kept you awake more times than you care to admit. I want to speak directly to that fear and break its hold with the authority of a God who has never failed to provide for what he has called into being. Within my kingdom there is a principle that stands opposite to natural human instinct. It is the principle that increase follows release. The principle that the hand willing to give becomes the hand that receives. The principle that what is sown into the purposes I establish returns multiplied in ways ordinary mathematics cannot explain. This is not simply a spiritual idea. It is a living reality, as dependable as any law governing the physical world. And so, my cherished child, I am calling you now to a specific act of trust. My beloved child, every meaningful journey asks you to leave certain weights behind. I invite you to take a meaningful portion from what you have and freely place it into my kingdom as a step of faith. Just as a farmer sows seed into the ground, What is released is not lost but planted. When you trust me with your provision, closed pathways begin to open, and a harvest of blessings will come that leaves no question about who supplied it. My precious child, I now want to speak about healing, because there are places within you that have remained wounded for far too long. Wounds that have formed layers around them. Protective walls that once helped you survive but now stand in the way of the fullness of life I intended for you. I know the exact moments when those wounds were created. I was there. I heard the words that cut far deeper than the person speaking them ever understood. I was present when the rejection happened, when the relationship broke apart, when the betrayal revealed itself and shattered something you trusted. I felt the impact of those moments with you, my child. Nothing reached your heart without first passing before me. And now I am coming to those places with purpose. Not to reopen pain without reason. Not to force you to relive what hurt you, but to finish the healing work that has been waiting for your permission. Because healing, my precious one, requires a different kind of courage than survival. Survival courage helps you continue despite pain. Healing courage says, I am willing to let what wounded me be seen, brought into the light, and fully surrendered to the one who can restore it. That is what I am asking from you. Let me enter the places you have guarded most carefully. Let me into the hidden rooms of your heart that have remained locked because opening them felt more dangerous than leaving them closed. I am gentle, my child. I am not entering those rooms to destroy what remains. I am entering with the hands of a master craftsman who knows how to work with broken things and create something even more beautiful than what existed before. There is an artistry in the way I restore wounded hearts that exceeds anything formed in a life untouched by pain. The deepest cracks within you are not proof of weakness. They are the very places where my light will shine brightest when it fills them. This is a truth you will not simply understand as an idea. You will experience it personally as I continue my work within you during this season. Declare your amen if you are ready to trust me with everything you have. My precious child, I want to address the voices that have spoken lies about who you are. Voices from earlier seasons of your life. Voices from people who should have encouraged you but instead diminished you. Voices that told you that you were too much or not enough, too outspoken or too quiet, too damaged to be useful or too ordinary to matter. Those voices left wounds. I will not pretend they did not. Words spoken into a person's life carry weight. Some of those words sank deep into the soil of your heart and shaped the way you viewed yourself for many years. But my beloved, every one of those voices was wrong. Every judgment came from a limited and distorted perspective. None of them have the final authority over your life, because that authority belongs to me. My word over you is that you are fully known and deeply loved. My word over you is that your value cannot be measured by human standards of success, appearance, productivity, or achievement. My word over you is that you were chosen deliberately, not as a backup plan, not because no better option existed. You were chosen because I wanted you. I created you with something the world needs, something that could never exist in exactly the same way without you, your story, your abilities, and the unique way you experience and share life. This is not a broad statement spoken without distinction. This is a message spoken directly into the unique truth of who you are. My cherished child, let me now speak about what lies ahead, because the road before you holds things that will truly amaze you. I do not use that word casually. I am not giving you a vague promise that life will improve slightly. I am telling you that what I have prepared for this next season will cause you to look back on your hardest days and finally understand, with a clarity that was impossible while you were living through them, why events unfolded the way they did. You will see the design of my faithfulness. You will recognize the lines of my provision woven through even your darkest seasons. You will understand the moments when I protected you from things you never saw, and redirected you from paths that would have brought far greater loss than any disappointment you felt when a door closed. The people entering your life during this season will be different from those who came before. I am sending relationships built on covenant, rather than convenience. I am bringing connections that will strengthen you and challenge you in holy ways. They will recognize the real you and choose you without hesitation. The loneliness that stayed with you far longer than it should have. The feeling of being unseen even while surrounded by others. That season is coming to an end. I am replacing it with the deep sense of belonging your heart has carried as a longing since your earliest years. My precious one. I also want to speak about the dreams you quietly set aside. The hopes that once filled you with excitement, but slowly faded as life's demands and repeated disappointments pressed in upon you. The picture you carried of what your life might become, the person you hoped to grow into, the contribution you longed to make in the world. At some point those dreams began to feel painful. Hope stopped feeling like fuel and started feeling like a risk. So you carefully folded those dreams away and stored them in a hidden place where they could no longer be seen, where they could not hurt you again. My child, I was the one who placed that dream inside you. I planted that vision in your heart, because it is connected to the purpose for which I created you. That dream was not born from fantasy or simple ambition. It came from the deepest part of you, the place most aligned with how I designed you and why I placed you here. And I tell you now that putting that dream away did not destroy it. What I have ordained cannot be killed. It has been resting, preserved, waiting for this very season when the conditions are finally right for it to be unfolded once more, not simply admired from a distance, but pursued with confidence and deliberate steps. My beloved, this is a season of awakening. What has been sleeping is beginning to rise. What seemed hidden is coming forth. What looked finished is receiving fresh life from the same breath that first spoke into emptiness and brought creation into being. Do not allow shame to keep you from picking that dream up again. Do not let old failures persuade you that the outcome will be the same as before. It will not. Because the person carrying that dream today is not the same person who carried it years ago. You have passed through a fire that does more than wound. It purifies. And what emerges from that refining is not a weaker version of what entered. It is the strongest and clearest version, freed from what was unnecessary and brought into its most powerful form. My cherished child, I want to speak with you about peace. Not the peace that comes when circumstances finally improve. Not the peace that arrives when problems disappear, conflicts settle, and uncertainty becomes clarity. I am offering you something much deeper than peace based on circumstances. I am offering you peace that exists regardless of what surrounds you. The peace that goes beyond human understanding. The peace that remains steady in the one who slept through a storm because he knew who was beside him. That is the peace I am placing before you right now. This peace does not wait for your circumstances to improve before it comes. It does not depend on the answer to your greatest concern. It is available to you now, in the middle of what remains unfinished, what remains uncertain, and what is still difficult. It comes through one pathway, choosing to trust me with every burden. Not a limited trust that hands me only the smaller concerns while keeping the deepest fears under your own control. A complete trust. A full surrender of every worry, every fear, every unknown future into the hands that hold all of creation and have never failed to carry what they hold. My precious child, I know the question hidden in the deepest place of your heart. It is the question you rarely say aloud because part of you is unsure whether you truly want the answer. It is the question that asks, does my life really matter? Does my existence carry the significance I hope it does? Or am I simply one person among billions whose days will eventually be forgotten? My child, listen to my answer with complete certainty. You matter to me with a depth and precision beyond anything that can be measured. You are not diminished by the vastness of creation. You are not made less important because there are countless others whom I love. My love does not divide itself. It multiplies. And the love I have for you is as complete, personal, and powerful as if you were the only soul I had ever created. My beloved child, the world around you is passing through a season of great shaking. You have sensed it, even if you have not fully put words to it. Things once believed to be permanent are showing their weakness. Systems trusted for generations are revealing cracks no one expected. Many people are discovering that the foundations they relied upon are shifting beneath them, and that instability is reaching into homes, minds, and hearts that were not prepared for such turbulence. This is not the time for you to lose your footing. This is the very moment I have been preparing you for. The stability I offer is not based on circumstances remaining unchanged. It is built upon an unchanging foundation, and I am that foundation. The one who cannot be moved, cannot be shaken, and cannot be threatened by anything within creation. When you build your life on me, when my word becomes the ground beneath your feet, and my presence fills your every breath, the shaking around you becomes something you can stand through, rather than something that carries you away. Not because you have developed extraordinary strength on your own, but because your strength is rooted in me, and I do not change. My precious child, do not wait until the shaking grows stronger before deciding where you will stand. The time to secure your foundation is not in the middle of the storm. The time to build on solid rock is while the sky is still clear. And I am giving you clear skies right now. I am giving you this invitation, this opportunity, this moment to make a decision that will shape not only the days ahead, but the direction of your eternal story. Do not take this lightly. Do not leave this moment assuming another one, exactly like it will always be available. I am patient, my child, and full of mercy. But the doors I open do not remain open forever. The invitations I extend have their appointed season, and this is yours. My beloved, you have arrived at the threshold. You have heard my voice through these words with a clarity that leaves little room for doubt about whether this is real. Your spirit already knows. The confirmation rising within you as you listen is not emotion creating an experience. It is my spirit speaking to your spirit, confirming that truth has been spoken, and that truth belongs personally to you. The question is not whether I have spoken. The question is how you will respond. And that response, my precious one, does not require perfection. It does not require that every answer already be in place. It requires only this, an open heart, a willingness to stop resisting the pull toward me, and a yes spoken from the deepest place within you. My cherished child, let me leave you with this. Everything I have spoken today is not the ending of a conversation. It is the beginning of one. I am not sending you away with comforting words and leaving you to walk forward alone. I am remaining with you. I am moving with you into every hour that follows this one. There will be days when these truths feel close, clear, and undeniable. There will also be days when the noise grows louder, when doubt returns, and when the distance seems greater than before. On those days, my precious one, return to this. Come back to the truth that entered your spirit during this moment. Return to the certainty that I called your name intentionally, that I arranged this meeting carefully, and that every promise I have spoken over you remains fully alive. My beloved child, you are not alone. You have not been forgotten. You are not walking the wrong road. You are not too late. You are not beyond restoration. You belong to me, and I belong with you. And together there is nothing ahead that we cannot walk through. Nothing we cannot overcome. Nothing that can separate you from the love, the purpose, and the secure future I have written over your life. Receive this now. Let it sink all the way in. Beyond the surface. Beyond the walls you have built. Beyond the places where you learn to be cautious about what you allow into your heart. Let it reach the deepest part of who you are. This is true. This is meant for you. And it is enough, my precious child. Before I send you forward into everything that lies ahead, there is one final thing I need to place within your spirit. Throughout these words, I have been doing something your eyes could not see, yet your spirit has recognized. I have been taking away the old names placed upon you by people who never had the right to decide who you are. The names you placed on yourself during moments of harsh judgment, when you compared yourself to standards that never came from me. Quietly, one by one, beneath every word you have heard, I have been removing those false identities, those labels based on performance, those conclusions formed by a world that never truly understood you. And in place of them, I am writing my name. Not as a mark that limits you, but as a mark of belonging in the most freeing and complete way possible. You belong to the one who has no limits. You are held by the hands that hold all things. You are loved by the love that brought love itself into existence. My beloved child, the dawn of your new season has arrived. Not a symbolic dawn, not a poetic picture of something uncertain, but a real beginning that starts from this very moment. The night was long. I know exactly how long. I was with you through every moment of it. But that night has ended. The horizon is changing. The light now appearing is not a short break from hardship before another storm arrives. It is an entirely different day, a day that continues. Step into it, my precious one, with confidence, with open hands, with a heart fully given to the one who has never stopped reaching toward you. I love you beyond what words can express. Move forward. I am already ahead of you, waiting with everything I promised. Declare your amen. If you are ready to walk into all that I have prepared for you, my precious child, then allow me to take you somewhere in your spirit right now. Close your eyes for a moment as you hear these words, and imagine what it feels like to finally breathe out completely. Not the breath that comes after a tiring day, when you simply need rest. I am talking about the breath that comes when a burden you have carried for so long that you stop noticing it is finally removed. The kind of release that comes when you stop bracing yourself against the fear of tomorrow and allow yourself to rest in the certainty that someone far greater than you is already there, already working, already making sure what needs to happen will happen. That release, my beloved, is available to you right now. Not as a distant reward waiting at the end of a long spiritual road, but as a present reality available in this very moment, in this very breath, in this exact place between where you have been and where you are going. My child, I want to speak to you about the seasons of night. Every person who has walked closely with me has experienced them. Those long seasons of spiritual coldness when my presence seemed far away, when prayers felt as though they rose only a short distance before falling back, when every memory of my faithfulness struggled to quiet the fears of the present moment. If you have walked through such a season, or if you are walking through one now, there is something about those seasons that the enemy does not want you to understand. Night is not proof that I am absent. Night is often the place where I do my most careful work. A seed hidden deep beneath the soil does not feel the sunlight. Yet it is there in the darkness that the most important change takes place. The unseen growth below the surface is what eventually allows life to break through above it. I have been working within you during your night season. Everything you could not see has been happening all along. My precious child, there are people in your life whom I placed there with purpose. And there are also people who entered by other paths, and whose presence has cost you more than you realize. Part of what I am doing in this new season is bringing clarity to those relationships. The people meant to walk with you into what is ahead will become clear. And some relationships you have tried to hold together because of loyalty, guilt, or fear of letting go will slowly loosen. Not through arguments, not through drama, but through the simple process of you growing into someone who is no longer held together by the same needs that once connected you. My beloved, do not mourn every person who leaves your path. Some were only meant to walk with you for a certain distance. Their departure is not always loss. Sometimes it is proof that you have moved beyond the place where they were meant to remain. My beloved, I want to speak about your thoughts because this is one of the main battlefields of this season. What fills your mind shapes much of what you experience and what you welcome into your life. I am not speaking about simple positive thinking, as if optimism alone could change everything around you. I am speaking about something much deeper. I am talking about learning to think in agreement with what I say instead of reacting only to what circumstances seem to be saying. The person who keeps my word fixed in their mind and returns to it whenever fear begins to blow, whenever the evidence around them appears to disagree with the promise, becomes someone with a stability the world cannot explain. That is the place I am calling you toward. Not as something achieved overnight, but as a daily practice. A steady returning of your mind to truth whenever fear tries to pull it elsewhere. My cherished child, I am not finished speaking about your purpose, because purpose is too important to mention only briefly, and your purpose is too unique and too urgent to leave undefined. There is something you were created to do that requires every part of who you are. The pain you have walked through has given you access to certain hearts that others could never reach. The way you see things, the perspective that belongs only to you, allows you to notice things in people and situations that others overlook completely. The way you experience life, the way you feel, the way your spirit responds to the world around you, all of it has been intentionally placed within you as equipment for a purpose that belongs specifically to you. I did not create your sensitivity by mistake. I did not place that special awareness inside you as a weakness that needed fixing. It is a gift. It is a tool. It is one of the very things that equips you for the purpose I created you to fulfill. My beloved, I want to speak with you about divine timing, because misunderstanding it has brought unnecessary pain into your life. You have looked at your life and compared its timeline to the picture you thought it should follow by now, and through that comparison, you began to believe you were behind, that you missed your moment, that every delay meant something had gone wrong. But my timing does not follow calendars built by human expectations. I do not measure readiness by the number of years that pass. I measure it by the work that has been completed within a person's soul. And many things that appear to be delays from where you stand are, from where I stand, the fastest preparation possible. The river that appears to move slowly across the valley is gathering strength and volume for the day it rushes through the mountain passage with unstoppable power. What seemed like a slow season in your life was actually your spirit collecting the depth needed to carry what is now preparing to move forward. My precious child, I want to speak about courage, because you will need it for what lies ahead. Not the courage that comes from already knowing the result. That is not true courage. That is simply confidence supported by certainty. The courage I am calling you into moves forward before the outcome can be seen. When there is still no evidence. When logic says to wait for more answers before acting. That is the courage of faith, and it is one of the strongest forces available to the human soul. When you walk in that kind of courage, you are not moving alone. You are moving in agreement with my own nature, with the same power that spoke life into emptiness, before there was any evidence of what would appear. That kind of courage is not produced by your own strength. It comes from staying close to me until my nature begins to shape yours. My beloved child, let me tell you about the people who are waiting in your next season. There are individuals who have been prepared especially for the relationships that belong in your future. People carrying things you need, and needing things that you carry. Connections that from the very first meeting will feel strangely familiar, like returning home to something you did not know was missing. These relationships will not be built on convenience or circumstance. They will be built on shared purpose, true spiritual connection, and a deep understanding that turns conversation into recognition, rather than explanation. I am drawing these people near. Some may already be closer than you realize, even though neither of you fully understands the importance of your connection yet. Pay attention to the people around you with fresh eyes. My precious child, what seems like an ordinary meeting may become the beginning of something extraordinary. My cherished child, as you step into everything I have been describing, there will be a temptation to compare yourself with others. You will be tempted to measure your progress against theirs, to look at the speed of another person's breakthrough and wonder why yours appears slower. You may compare their visible blessings with the promises still developing in your own life and conclude that somehow I have favored them more. Do not fall into that trap, my beloved. The path I have set before you belongs to you alone. It was never designed for comparison. It was designed to bring out the unique things I placed inside you. What another person received may not be what you need, and what I have prepared for you has been designed with such care that it could never be copied for someone else, because no one else is you. The road that leads you into the fullness of my purpose is your road alone. Walk it without constantly looking at the journeys of others. My beloved child, I want to finish this time together with one final truth that I pray settles deeply into your spirit and stays with you long after these words have ended. You are standing before something truly new. Not new because a few things have been rearranged. New because it is genuinely different. Different the way morning is different from night. Not simply because darkness has disappeared, but because a completely different light has arrived. I am inviting you to step across that threshold today. Not to remain standing beside it. Not to spend more time wondering if you are ready. You are ready. I have prepared you. The preparation is finished. The appointed time has arrived. And I am standing here with you at the doorway, my hand extended, my promise confirmed, and my presence already filling the place waiting for you beyond it. State I believe if you accept that I have called you by name. We run on viewer support only. For exclusive member-only content, scan the QR or see the pinned comment. God bless you.